Goku. Let's start with Z. He loses to Raditz. They had to jump Raditz. So he loses to Raditz. He loses to Vegeta. They had to jump Vegeta. These are some very good questions, and I needed to do an entire video in order to explain all of it, ADD and everything. I'm going to combine two of the questions because you ask, is there something for other generations of people? And you ask, do Anarchious have any peers? Well, Anarchious does have a peer that he travels with. That's Ace the Lycan. However, the other question, generations, he has a mentor, sort of a master Jedi type deal going on with a character by the name of Jose. He is an elder for Anarchious. He will be one of the people who teach Anarchious about his culture and not just his powers, because like I said in the last video, the culture is really what I wrote this for. The powers are thirdary, but they're there. You'll get powers and adventure and that sort of thing because the entertainment value in that, people just love that. However, Jose will also be the mentor character towards Anarchious, his sexy Afro-Latin Obi-Wan Kenobi. But that's not it. At some point in the story, Anarchious will come into contact with the Edenites. What is an Edenite? Now, in the story, in the lore, the humans of the planet refer to Anarchious and people like Anarchious as mutants. The humans in the story came to the conclusion that the Lycans, the vampires, the magic users, and the mutants all came from them. And an Edenite is one of those people from this little continent right here on the planet Terabel. And this continent is completely empty because of a tragedy that happened that separated Anarchious and his twin brother Abel from his peoples. But Anarchious at some point is reunited with his peoples, and those peoples are controlled by an older generation of people, and you learn. I'm going to explain it like this. When I wrote this book, I gave the book to my mother, who loves reading, and I had her read it. And her takeaway from this council that Anarchious meets later, that is comprised of just his people, she really enjoyed the narrative, because I'm trying not to give it all away, because the older generation and the younger generation in this story are kind of at odds because of the action, inaction, reaction to the tragedy that happened to their peoples. There are characters that an older generation can connect with and connect to. Now, here's the most important one. Does Anarchious take L's? One of the most famous Superman stories is when Superman died for like a year and he came back in the black suit. Goku. Let's start with Z. He loses to Raditz. They had to jump Raditz. So he loses to Raditz. He loses to Vegeta. They had to jump Vegeta. He L'd out Nappa. He L'd out Raccoon. He L'd out, was it Jace? Or is it Birder? The whole Ginyu thing is really crazy and convoluted because he lost his body, then he got his body back. Made sure that Ginyu switched into a frog instead of Vegeta. I'm going to call that a draw. He beats Frieza. He loses to Android 19. Comes back. He quits against Cell. 10 years later, essentially loses to Vegeta by turning his back on Vegeta. He beats Boo. Does Anarchious take L's? I believe that characters are more than just their powers. I also believe that if you have to hang on to your character being the most powerful, or being limitless, or boundless, or writing them so that it's impossible so anybody can beat them, not only can you not write, you write like a 12-year-old, and you simply don't really care about the story. You're just power tripping like all these other nerds. Anarchious takes L's. I don't believe in making your character undefeated. I believe an undefeated character, unless it means something, is just poor writing. Just like I sort of believe prophecy writing is kind of like a crutch. So all of that power shit is a crutch. No, Anarchious takes L's. He's not invincible, and you will find that out in the story. Pick up Judgment Day is manga hybrid. If you like dark fantasy, if you like vampires, werewolves, magic, adventure, fighting, you like all of that, you want something that is unapologetically black, 95, Source Awards, Blade, Underworld, Avatar, The Last Airbender, Castlevania, this is your go-to. If you like those things, you're gonna love this. But yeah, Anarchious takes L's. I don't want to spoil when these L's take place or how these L's take place. The story itself, like I said, is a comic manga hybrid. It is influenced by manga, both art and storytelling. However, there are some things that I have never really enjoyed about Japanese storytelling that I omit. Standing there and explaining your power set to someone who is trying to kill you, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Explain that somehow later, not in the middle of a fight, you know. That's the best answer I can do without spoiling things. Trust me, you'll like it. Dragon Ball Z influenced my way of seeing stories, and Goku rarely won. He has more losses in Z than he has wins. At least that's the way I see it. Whew. I mean, he has the most important wins, though. He has Frieza and Boo. All right, if you got any more questions, feel free to ask. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. And I'm out.
The bamboo earrings, baby.